Hello, this is Wolf Outdoor Review here. Today I'm going to be doing a two-part video. First part I will be reviewing this. This is a medical pouch for the Molle system. It is otherwise known as the Molle 2 Pocket Medic, NSN number 8465-01-560-2781, and it's made by the Specialty Group Inc. Anyway, I don't know why it's not focusing, but this is, like I said, is a two-part video, so I just picked this up today. And so I noticed that there's a lot of this stuff here on these. So I'll show you what I do to all my Molle equipment. It takes a while, but it expands the longevity of your Molle pouches by 3 lifetimes at least. Because with these, what they do is they make them very quickly, and so they're not that good at being used and other things. So yeah, they just make them very quickly and cheaply. So if you want to make this a actual sustainable source / usable pouch, I recommend you do this. So all you're going to need for this is a lighter, a pouch, and water if you need it. For me, I've burned my hands enough times that this will end up working. For some people, they quickly dab their finger in water and then do this. So we'll start off. Alright, so first thing we do is you find something like this where it's fraying. And since most of the military use plastic-based thread, I don't know, it would be nylon thread, what you do is you take a lighter, you see it just disappear, and then you push. That creates a flat area, so that's out of the way now. And just keep doing that, and then you can either push or rub over it. And as you can see there, it's kind of a discolored, but it works well. Because, I mean, some of this stuff is just ridiculous, like that. So eventually, if you take a bramble and that pulls on it, it could come off. So by doing this, you increase the longevity of them, and they're all over. They just do them. They just go down the line, and then when they're done, they just pull it out and cut it. So this makes it more of comparable to the Voodoo Tactical and all those brands where they do a little bit better job with hiding the imperfections / machining. Of course, these are surplus, so they use them for the army. They have to produce a couple million or billion of these pouches, and who knows, this is the current issue. We may have this camo pattern for the next 20, 30 years, so they're going to produce way more than that, and they produce, like, probably this, I don't know, hour maybe. I'm not sure. Depending on who produces it, it could be quicker, take longer, but yeah, they don't take too long to produce, so you have to kind of do the cleanup job yourself. So I'm just going to show you again. Here, this is a good angle. Take the lighter, you hold it there till they're almost on fire, see, then they go out, then you push. It'll kind of hurt if you're not careful, and I like to make sure that there's no rough bulbous heads. Like for me, like sometimes you have to reheat them and then do it. In that case, you can run your finger over it and you won't feel it at all. And that way it's out of the way. And since you've melted the plastic nylon to the nylon of the Molle belt, there's no way for it to fray unless you have a very violent, like, tumble down a hill. Versus this, it could fray even more. Like, see that? I just pulled that and it came out even more. So it's good security to make sure that stuff doesn't fall out. So, like I said, hit it with a lighter, hold it for like 3 seconds, and then push and kind of do that. Yeah, now you can see it's completely gone. So what ends up happening is you turn this into this. Alright, I'm back. I have another one of these. This one's multicam, this one's DCU, but this one I've already hit. So, as you can see here, you have everything except for that, that's just, some of this is just like burrs, catching that, but everything on here has been hit pretty well. Except that, I guess. Yeah, this I'll have to hit at some point, actually. Oh, never mind. I'll be sure to get that. But yeah, for the most part on the back, everything's been hit. As you can see, there's nothing sticking out. So it improves longevity. Okay. Q-tip, fine. All right. So, but at the same time as doing this, you want to do with what you can, because if you turn these inside out, you can tell that you could just be hitting this with a lighter for days, and you're not going to do much to it, because these are just that cheaply made. They're really durable, but if you really want something that's secure, you're kind of going to have to look elsewhere. There's no way to save these. As you can see, all along the edges here on the insides of these, they're just messy. So what I've done, if it's pretty bad, I just take it for a few seconds, lighter over it for just a few seconds, and then if there's any major problems, I'll do that. But you know, you can't just like secure these forever. So yeah, everything's sloppy on the inside. So as long as you're careful putting stuff in and out, you should be fine. I mean, yeah, everything's just full fizzy, so can't really do too much about the inside of these pouches, but the outside you can definitely make sure you hit them pretty well with the lighter. So yeah, and then worst case, you could super glue this if you needed to, or take a hot iron, like a curling iron, if you really wanted to get into it. Of course, for me, I don't really care too much about the inside. Sometimes I do with them on certain things, like I have a Molle 2 Assault rucksack, which I'll do a video on later, but for that took the entire thing, it took me 2 hours, and I flipped it inside, outside, hit every single little bead, because I use that a lot, and I wanted to make sure there was no little burrs. And from the stuff I've done this, I haven't had much, versus where it's like if you just leave these unattended, they'll eventually fizz and you'll lose more and more. And I would say these are probably rated to 2 lifetimes if you're very careful. But if you're a grunt soldier, you may rip things open. In that case, you may have wear on these. So either, yeah, make sure you take good care of them and gently pull things in and out within reason. Obviously, you're not going to be in the middle of a firefight and gently pull things out. But as long as you treat this with common sense, nothing's idiot-proof. So as long as you treat them reasonably well, you should have good success rate with these. Yeah, so yeah, you can always turn things inside out for hitting it with a lighter. So, and then yeah, these are all known as the Molle 2 medical pouches. This one's a little bit different than the other one. It will. There we go. So this one's made by Michael Blanco. If you need to pause. I recommend these because there's the Molle Woodland version of these. There's 3 rows of Molle, so you have, and these end up being the same width as this, so they're hard to take off quickly. But with these, the modern ones, they only have 2 rows, so you can quickly, first I could do this one-handed if I wanted. You know, weave. Of course, when you put it on your FLC, those are only this wide, so that one's kind of a hard one to do. So you have to make sure you really line it up. But for the most part, if you're doing the medical, putting this on the medical backpack or whatever, you know, it's one-hand operable. And then depending on what zone you're in, you could either leave them undetached. Like if it's on your FLC and you've secured the you've weaved them and you don't need to really button them, that rate you can help, like take it off while you're administering a tourniquet or whatever. So yeah, I definitely recommend these newer models that have only 2 straps, because the third one you supposedly, I guess, put a pair of shears in them. I don't know, but yeah. So, oh, while we're here, might as well check this out. Come on. Okay. If you need pause, feel free to pause. They're a little bit different, I think. The NSN number is different, probably from different eras. So, yeah, there was the NSN number, and here's what I was telling you about. Here's what I ended up doing to the lighter with the lighter. Just hit it. It kind of looks bad, but like you said, there's no way to catch it. So, versus having something like this, which, as you can see, that's connected there. So if this pulls hard enough, you'll just have this ping, 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 ping down the row. So it's better to take care of problems before they start. And you can police your gear as long as it's something you use often. Like I policed my entire FLC, or well, LBV, I guess, which is the standard FLC, fighting load carrier vest, Molle vest. I policed the entire thing I own. I own a Woodland one, which I'll do a review of soon, as my wife's saying is. But for the most part, yeah, I try to hit everything I can with a lighter on the outside. Inside, it's kind of a losing battle, as I was showing you. Everything on the inside is fraying, so you can only hit it to stop it so much. But even just taking preventative measures on the outsides will make your pouches last just that longer. I don't think a lot of people know about this. I know in the Army and different branches they make you police everything. Of course, in the Army you have the benefit of you can turn things in for repair or replacement, but if you're a civilian buying military surplus, it's definitely a good option to hit this stuff with a lighter to prevent any problems from happening. And I can do this one while we're zoomed in. Show you. So I hold it there till it's burnt, and then I push really hard, and then I blow the smoke away, which I don't know if it's healthy for you. I don't, yeah, no clue at all, but see, now it's kind of policed up. So that's what you do for these. Yeah. So this is the new OCP version. This is the DCU version, which, 3 colors, coffee stain, DCU, 3-color desert, OCP, UCP, multicam, whatever you want to call it. They're the same thing. Just for comparison wise, this is how they work. You put stuff in them. Of course, nowadays with this one anyway, and maybe even this one, these aren't really used as medical pockets anymore. At least that's what I've tended to notice, since they have the it looks like a 100-round or 200-round drum pouch, and they have inserts that you pull in and out with shock cord attached to them. So these kind of have been retired. It's more of a general purpose pouch, so you could throw your NVGs in there, maybe a stripped down MRE. I don't know what these are used for this days. They might still be used for medical. Of course, the other ones seem to be more quick release, because you press the button, the buckle clips, and then it's a folds in half, versus zippers or take too long. So I guess depending on if it's a fast case or a slow case, depends on which one of these you would use. But as for recommendations, I'd recommend this for your kit, at very worst for a general purpose pouch, because there's a lot of things that you have that's civilian that the military doesn't have or can't have. So you could throw your cell phone charger, I don't know, some flashlight, a bunch of random stuff, chewy bars. Throw this on the side part of your pack. Since I know the else? No, the Molle 2 rucksacks. They have Molle on the side of the hip belt, so you can put stuff on either side of it, whether that's a pistol holster or something like this, and then you could put chewy bars on one side, bear spray, whatever, phone, GPS, something in here. So I think these are really good for general purpose. That's why I bought. I have 3 of these. I have a Woodland, a DCU, and this version, and then I have a digital camo version of the newer one. That's a considered a Molle 200 round drum pouch. So I'll do a video of that in the future, but I just thought I'd do a quick video explaining how you heat these up. That's how I police all my gear that I need, that I use a lot, especially since if depending on what you do, if you just take it to the range, then maybe not, but for me, I take it camping. I always have an LBV on, so I have an axe attached to mine, I have chewy bars, my phone, flashlight, compass, all sorts of stuff in mine. Of course, the e-tool, canteen cup. The Woodland one I have is actually full of medical equipment, so I've got a full medical thing. And yeah, so I definitely recommend these, especially if you're not in firefight. It's a good medical pouch. So if you don't intend to use this very often, this is a good medical pouch. So, and it's cheapish. These are $30. I got it for $5. So, then I don't know, 10 worst case, $10 for DCO. But yeah, these ones are kind of overpriced for the OCP versions. If you wanted to buy these on eBay, they're 32 to 30. Maybe if you get one on a bidding auction, you could get them pretty cheaper than that. I don't know, but yeah, I paid $6 at Goodwill. I think I still have the tag too somewhere. So yeah, I guess yeah. These are designed to fit the old Alice style things. So, what's it called? You have the, I'm just gonna pause the video and try to find that, part. Alright, I'm back. I found it. And actually, I think I paid less than $5. I found it. I was just thinking off the top of my head. I had this, then I had a student discount at Goodwill. So, yeah. Goodwill. Yeah. So you can find these occasionally at Goodwill. That's where I check for Army gear. I don't want to pay surplus prices, so I try to, if I can find for significantly less than I pay normally, I buy it. So yeah, that's how I've managed to get all my gear. I never pay full price, surplus price. Everything's probably 50% or more off from surplus store pricing. So yeah, I can't stand to spend money, excessive amounts of money on stuff like this. Like, I would never spend $30 on this. So just do your research and shop around pawn shops, antique stores, thrift stores, and consignment shops. All those are good places to check for this type of gear. And then decide if you do want to do FLC kit. Make sure you decide what you want to do. And with it, you can do the Alice gear, Molle gear. There's the Vietnam era stuff that's like got the, instead of buckles or the two tabs that you push together, there's the ones you pull out, and they have a hole like this, and a hole like that, and then you have a bar that comes down the middle. Then when you pull that, it relieves this one to go forward. They're like M1951 pouches, I think they're called. They're used in Vietnam, Korea. So there's different eras you can do depending on what your loadout wants to be. I recommend Molle personally, but there's budget-minded warriors out there and people who don't want to spend the excessive amounts of money for multicam, OCP, UCP, whatever. You could do digital and dye it. There's videos out there. If you look up dyed digital camo, it's actually pretty good depending on where you live. You can get a digital camo LBV, which is a load-bearing vest, which is a Molle vest with pouches, standard pouch kits on it. Those are like $116 for a big backpack, a small like school backpack, a vest, and all the pouches that come with it. So you can get a full kit of the digital stuff for pretty cheap and then dye it to your liking. So there's always kits out there if you want some. Just gotta do research. Anyway, thank you for watching, and sorry for going a little bit overboard, but just thought maybe you guys would find it useful showing you how to police your gear up. I don't know if any people know about this. I haven't seen any videos regarding it, so hopefully you learned something. And of course, you don't have to do everything you own, because you'll run out of lighters and your hand will get burnt to a crisp like mine does. But I, sat too many nights in front of a campfire, holding my hands too close. So, like I said, worst case, you spit on your hands and use that saliva as a water barrier so you don't burn your hands, or you take a piece of water and you leave your hands slick and wet, and then when you touch it, it doesn't hurt your fingers when you're putting it down. You could also use a pair of pliers or needle nose pliers that are flat, so the metal part squeezes this so you have that flat part. So that's my recommendation, is you hit everything you own with a lighter. That way you can extend the longevity of it. Yeah, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, commenting, sharing, leaving a like. If you want to email me, you can email me at wolfoutdoorview@gmail.com, or leave a comment. And yeah, feel free to share this video to anyone who thinks it's helpful, and let me know what your tips and tricks for Molle pouches, or what color you run, or just, I don't know, leave a comment, I guess. I'll try to respond to all of them, since my channel is still small. I think I've done a good job responding to everyone's comments so far. So if you have a question, leave me a comment or send me an email. And yeah, I'll be sure to try to respond as best I can, at least for now. Until otherwise noted, I'll respond to everyone's comments who sends me one. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, evening, night, week, whatever. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.